I think one word you could describe him with is absolute class.
Dr. Mahmood, to me, is a very special person. He's been a very personal friend, but I would describe him as a model physician.
He's been a mentor to me and all my colleagues. I call him the godfather or the elder statesman of urology.
You know, this is my 44th year in practice, and I still get up every morning and I'm excited to go to work. And I think it's just a blessing that we are so fortunate as physicians that we were guided into this profession.
He is an advocate for all his patients, and he is always keeping himself well read and abreast of the newest developments in our specialty and in medicine.
He sets an example for all doctors to behave in a certain manner, and I think that would be his most significant contribution to me.
My father was a doctor, and when I was a child, I used to make house calls with him. So we would make house calls, my father would see the patients, and then they'll serve us tea and pastries. And I said, wow, this is a great profession. It was a no-brainer.
One thing they may not know that when it comes to his grandchildren, his granddaughter, he's a softie.
There's many things that I could add, but I think things that would be most important is he's a proud husband, father, grandfather, friend, physician, and he enjoys playing golf and tennis. And don't be surprised at his extremely competitive nature in all of these areas.
My wife was an occupational therapist. We actually met at Bronx Veterans Hospital. I was a first-year surgical intern, and she was an occupational therapy intern. She's from New Hampshire. We met in the hospital and fell in love, and we decided to get married. And we had 2 children. My daughter, Sarah, is a very successful child psychologist in Philadelphia. We have 1 little granddaughter, Juliet, who's just turned 9. My son, Jaffer, who was valedictorian Tom's River North 1996 and was a pre-med, decided to go into show business. And he is now a producing director on Young Sheldon, which is a hit comedy on CBS.
Hi, Jaffer Mahmood here. Allison Clemente reached out and asked if I'd make a video saying why I think my dad deserves this award. I think there are some obvious reasons, like his attention to detail, his warm bedside manner, his stunning good looks. But for me, what I think it really comes down to is his genuine passion for medicine. This is a man who cannot wait to get to work in the morning. He sat me down when I was 8 years old and told me that he'd rather me live paycheck to paycheck doing something I love versus making a ton of money doing something I hate. Of course, the coda to that sentence was, I hope you love being a doctor. But for an immigrant father to tell his only son to follow his passion, that's unique. And that's what sets him apart to win awards like this one. Congrats, Dad.
Hello, my name is Rick Palomari, and I'm the Vice President for Development of the Community Medical Center Foundation. I am so pleased that tonight we are presenting Community Medical Center's first Emerging Leader Award to Heather Barberi, the Executive Director of the Jay and Linda Grunin Foundation. About 3 years ago, one of our board members thought it was essential for the foundation to engage young people in our activities, as they are the future of any organization. He also felt there was a lack of networking opportunities for these young professionals in the area. We held our first networking event September of 2015, and about 15 people attended. Everyone there was very enthusiastic about the idea, and at our next networking event, we had over 40 young professionals from various businesses attend. Happily for us, many of them expressed an interest in getting involved in Community Medical Center, and the first meeting of the Young Professional Advisory Council was held in the fall of 2016. They continue to be active, sponsoring networking and fundraising events, and some of them are now trustees on the foundation board. When we first started, people asked what the criteria was to be considered a young professional, and at that time, the only criteria was to be younger than Jeremy Grunin. As you can see, I'm not younger than Jeremy, hopefully young at heart. So it is really gratifying to see the commitment these very busy young people have shown, and I can tell you the future of this community will be in very good hands for years to come. About a year ago, we began discussing how to recognize these volunteers and decided to establish an Emerging Leader Award. As we talked with our council members, one name kept coming up over and over: Heather Barberi. I've had the pleasure of knowing Heather for many years and know she has always been very active in the community, with TD Bank, the Ocean County College Foundation, and now with the Jay and Linda Grunin Foundation. It was a great choice, and we were delighted when she accepted. I join all of you in congratulating Heather for all she has done, and I'm sure will continue to do for our community. Thank you.
Heather is a pleaser, and she will at all costs do whatever she can to make people happy.
I fortunately was the chair of the screening committee from when we were looking for a new executive director, and Heather was one of the candidates that came before us. And I will tell you, she was immediately, I could see the looks on all the faces of everybody that was sitting on the screening committee that we knew we had the right candidate in Heather Barberi.
People will forget what you say, people will forget what you do, but people will never ever forget how they made you feel. And every time I think of that quote, I think about Heather.
And what she's taught me is, she's kind of taught me to see better in people and to not always be so cynical, because she is just really, really positive. And I think that, again, just rubs off on people and it translates.
I think that's just classic Heather, always looking out for the community and the kids and just taking that special interest of adding her own personal touch to things.
You know, when you look at why you're so committed or what inspires you to give back, I think I have to take it back to the way I grew up and my family. I have a very large extended family. My dad's one of 10, my mom's one of 5. And everything growing up was about family and supporting one another. It was never about material things. It was really about helping each other through good times and bad times. And I see the community almost like my family. She is great with her family. She's like super aunt. They love her to pieces and she loves them equally. She's very caring, and she goes out of her way to do everything she can for people. I think it's about helping your family. It's about helping your neighbors. It's about doing whatever you can to try to make the community that you live in or that you work in a better place for everyone. Not for you, for everybody that's in that community.
Just from the time she walked in that door and we were having that screening committee, I knew she was a leader. I knew she was someone that was going to go far. She was also a person of integrity.
And then there are the kind of leaders that are most successful. And those are the ones who you want to work for because you want them to succeed. And that's the kind of leader that Heather is.
Everyone that she comes in contact with, she just makes an impact.
I think Heather deserves the Emerging Leader Award because I think she typifies what every leader should strive to be.
The emerging part has kind of moved pretty quickly. I think she's already a well-founded pillar of the community as it is.
I think it's so important for young professionals to get involved. And I feel like at some point, and maybe it's when you're in your 20s, there's this feeling like I can't write the big check or I can't volunteer, 10 hours a week. And I think we need to move beyond that because it's about the little things that you do. And I think it's about building a culture of giving back at a young age in your career. And there's so much need.